Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're dialing into this webinar. Before we get started, I just want to cover a few housekeeping items. So if you take a look at the bottom of the webinar console, you'll see some widgets. Left to right, they are first the help widget. And if you have any technical difficulties during the presentation, the widget will direct you to the technical support center. Next, the media player widget. So use this tool to control volume. Be sure that the volume on your computer is also turned up. Next, the slide widget. This is where the presentation slides will be. You can make the slide display larger or smaller by clicking and dragging on the corners of the slide display. Next, the resources widget. So this has links to a couple of helpful resources if you want to dig into some of the things that we talk about here and learn more about any approaches or solutions that we discussed today. And then finally, the questions widget. So if you have a question that pops into your mind during the course of this presentation, please enter them here. And we'll try to do our best to address all of them at the end of the discussion during our Q&A. So with much ado, I'd like to now start, and we're really excited to spend some time today diving into why retention-focused marketing strategy is really critical during this COVID-impacted environment, and how direct mail is also a really cost-effective offline channel that can reach homebound audiences. We're also going to talk about how understanding the customer lifecycle requires you to bridge that gap between the human journey and the technology journey, and how Salesforce Marketing Cloud can help map any customer journey to optimize engagement opportunities. And then we also want to provide you with a quick demo of Salesforce Journey Builder and share two great client examples from Smile Direct Club and the Ohio Lottery on how they incorporated direct mail into their multi-channel outreach to improve their customer engagement. And then lastly, we'll definitely take some time to address any questions that you may have. So again, please submit them using the Q&A widget. And finally, as your co-host, I'd like to quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Maeda. I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager at Lob. And then also we have Pato.
Hi, my name is Pato Sapir. I'm the founder and technical consultant with Devs United. Before we dive a little bit too far into the content, let's quickly tell you a little bit about Devs United and Lob. Devs United is a Salesforce consulting partner specialized in providing best-of-class digital marketing and analytics services on top of the Salesforce platform. And we are part of one of the largest independently owned agencies in Ohio called Marcus Thomas. Marcus Thomas specializes in advertising and media, and our practice is a little more focused on the CRM and marketing automation space. So this gives us a chance to provide really integrated experiences across each touch point of a person's journey.
Excellent. Thanks, Pato. And at Lob, we built a direct mail automation platform. So we help companies use offline communications in the same way that they use email or SMS messaging, meaning that it's fast, it's flexible, measurable, and can be deeply personalized for each individual recipient. And our customers use the platform to send physical mail as part of their digital marketing campaigns, as well as operational mails like bills and statements, notice letters, or even check payments. So for the first section, we're going to talk about how the COVID outbreak has made it mandatory for companies to shift gears as customer attention has become really hard to come by, and how direct mail can become your best performing channel when customer journeys are optimized for retention and for engagement. So, as we all know, life as we know it has completely changed with the COVID outbreak, which is clearly economic activity in 2020. And one place where this disruption is most acutely felt is in budgets. And this crisis has really resulted in a near total disappearance of all channels related to in-person events and conferences and meetings. And according to a recent survey, nearly 90% said all events up to June were canceled, with many more slated to be canceled in the remainder of the year. Meanwhile, eMarketer reported global ad spend was down by a staggering $20 billion since the beginning of this year, citing the near absence of all retail activity. So in this harsh environment, companies are naturally being cost-averse, and they're prioritizing initiatives that maximize ROI and drive efficiencies. And most marketers have already shifted their activities online, choosing to focus on digital content marketing or creating virtual events like this one. However, in the absence of foot traffic and with so much online content available, new customer acquisition is more challenging and more expensive than before. So, in fact, the cost of acquiring a new direct customer can be as high as 25 times the cost of retaining one. And this means the companies that are good at digging into their CRM to pursue retention strategies definitely have a leg up in this environment. So let's talk about why retention campaigns work. E-commerce companies, and especially D2C companies, have found particular success in aggressively developing approaches to increase retention rates. So think of your Dollar Shave Clubs, your Chewy.coms, or Warren Partners. And owing to the fact that these D2C business models do not have physical storefronts, they've created enticing subscription models, fee programs, and membership models to engage existing customers that they've invested in acquiring and to get them to become more frequent and repeating purchasers. So what's unique about retention campaigns? The key characteristics needed to create successful and cost-effective retention programs are here. One is data. So unlike acquisition campaigns, the key is to really lean into your current customer data. Companies can and should be leveraging much more data, not just limited to their own CRMs, but also demographic and behavioral data about people who have purchased or engaged with them previously. Next is timing. Retention campaigns are both long-running and precisely timed. These span the length of customer engagements aligned to important customer milestones and behaviors. And then lastly, personalization. Customers in this era of Amazon and Google expect their interactions with companies to be timely and relevant, particularly to them. Effective customer campaigns really need to tailor messages, their offers, and channel preferences to meet customer needs and everything that they want. So case in point, COVID is becoming a really great forcing function for companies to leverage their existing customer base and embrace experimentation with new strategies during this transitional time. So now I'm going to have Pato talk a little bit more about the importance of understanding the customer journey.
Thanks, Aya. Before I dive a little bit into how we connect the customer journey with the technology, I wanted to talk about what I like to define as the moments of truth. If we look at a customer journey, and how a customer interacts with a particular brand, it's almost like an ECG, right? Of what they're going through different emotions. And based on the different brands that they're interacting with, the person might go through different emotions, right? And this particular new normal that we're living in is a testament of that, of how different customers react, different ways of how they're interacting with different brands. And as we know, the customer journey is made up of many moments. And evaluating the customer attitudes and emotions are key to gain insight into issues and opportunities, right? So it's either identifying a problem and trying to figure out how to fix it, or identifying an opportunity and trying to amplify that moment. And the way to connect those human journeys with the technology is through, in our case, through Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a marketing automation tool, very powerful marketing automation tool that allows you to engage and personalize and create those campaigns as Aya was describing with the relevant timing. Sorry, very quick. There you go. It's comprised of different add-ons within the tool. We have Journey Builder, which is what we'll talk about in the demo that we're focusing on today. Journey Builder is the orchestration engine that allows you to coordinate different channels. But then you have the studios. The studios are specific tools to build messages in different channels. So you have Email Studio to build email campaigns that are personalized, Mobile Studio for SMS and mobile push, and then Social Studio for community management and social listening. All these platforms and tools are orchestrated using Journey Builder. And Journey Builder is a really great tool to orchestrate different channels where you can listen for cues and connect data from external data sources. You can send relevant messaging in channels that might be digital, but they don't necessarily have to be digital, and that's in the demo that I'll show you in a few minutes. And then it really allows you to build a flow where each contact goes through different paths, and the decisions that you put in that flow are made by the different actions that the customer will take. So you are capturing data points as the customer goes through your journey, and based on those decisions, you can send them maybe an email message or an SMS, or maybe create a case in the customer service platform that you are using. It's truly a tool within Marketing Cloud to allow you to send relevant messages at the right time to the right person and with the right content.
Great, thanks, Pato. And again, as we mentioned, really identify where your customers are most communications. It's really important to ensure that you're top of mind, and especially by you're talking to them by using their preferred channels of communication. So one channel we see working really well is direct mail. And for many of you, direct mail must seem like a really old-fashioned marketing channel. And you're not wrong. The process of sending direct mail really hasn't changed in a long time. But the surprising thing is that it actually does work really well, and especially when paired with outreach using digital channels, these performance ROIs are even more powerful. So direct mail has a 13x higher response rate compared to email. In a recent survey that we did with Mintel, over 60% of direct mail senders said it's their highest performing channel. A direct mail outreach paired with an email follow-up is 4 times more effective than direct mail alone. And then the average response rate can triple if the customer you're engaging with has already done business with you. So that's pretty impressive when you consider the fact that sending physical mail is a lot more expensive than sending email. So there's a reason why direct mail isn't popular to use, and that's because direct mail has been historically really hard to use, and it's extremely manual, it's costly, and it's requiring very long lead times. But Lob, paired with Salesforce Journey Builder, can help companies break through this wall and automate direct mail in ways that are not thought as possible. Lob is an API-based direct mail automation tool that makes direct mail usable as part of your multi-channel campaign orchestrations. So it can help trigger mail that's fast, personalized, and cost-effective for retention purposes. So what it allows marketers to do is seamlessly integrate direct mail within their campaigns. So mail can be sent on demand with no batching or queuing based on specific customer milestones or activities. It can dynamically personalize direct mail content. So every aspect of each piece of mail can be customized, including form factors, layouts, imagery, copy, and offers. You can also send mail much more quickly. So traditional direct mail campaigns can have lead times as long as 60 to 90 days, working with internal teams, designers, all the way to commercial printers. And then easily A/B test and so understand which messages, offers, content, and form factors perform the best with full visibility and tracking, and have the flexibility to create experiments on the fly. So now that we've talked a bit about incorporating direct mail into your multi-channel retention campaigns, I'm going to turn it over to Pato, who's going to do a quick demo of the mechanics behind Salesforce Journey Builder and Lob before diving into more specific customer examples. So over to you, Pato.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my screen here real quick. 1 second. Doing everything. I should be sharing my screen here. So I'm going to walk you through how the integration works. So before that, I'll give you a quick overview of Marketing Cloud. So, within Marketing Cloud, here we have one of our demo accounts that we use. And we have Contact Builder. And Contact Builder allows us to create and have a single view of the customer and create relationships across our different data sources. So if I have offline data or data about my e-commerce orders, I can bring all that data into Marketing Cloud and relate it to my golden record, right? My contact record. So for this particular example, we have a table in Marketing Cloud that has all the data about orders placed on an e-commerce site, right? So we have the first name, last name, shipping address, total price, and we have a couple of columns like image URL, as well as offer expiration date. All this data can be integrated via different ways. You can do API calls. We have a Shopify store, can push data from Shopify into this data extension, or it can be like just batch files, for example, right? Once we have the data set up and the Contact Builder is set up for each account, we can go ahead and use that data to create journey. So the journey that I'm going to build, I'm here in Journey Builder. And we usually start with an entry source. So an entry source is what qualifies people into a journey. It can be data that I have in Marketing Cloud in the shape of a data extension. A data extension is pretty much a table in Marketing Cloud. Or it can be an API event. Or it can be somebody submitting information in a landing page. Or it can even be data coming from Salesforce. In this case, let's say we're making people available in the journey based on an API event, right? An order comes from the e-commerce, we trigger this journey. And let's say what we want to do is we want to send a 20% off discount to the person that orders in an e-commerce site. For that very first order that they place, they're a first customer of our e-commerce site. We want to send them a postcard or an email or maybe an 20% coupon. Okay. So on the left-hand side, we have our activities canvas. We have our messages. This one, we have push notification. We can do SMS or in-app message as well as email. And as you can see, we have our integration, which is our love message. We can also add people to an advertising audience. So we can do a little bit of retargeting and put them into a Facebook audience, for example. And we have our flow control. This is where we can do decisions and we can control the flow of the journey. So for example, we can add durations. So we want to wait 3 days before doing a next action, or we can do a control group by using a random split. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start, let's say, with an email. So I'm going to send an email with a 20% off. And then I'm going to wait a couple of days. Let's say that, that email, maybe, it can be that I have the wrong email address or the email bounces. So I want to make sure that I'm actually reaching out to a person. So I'm going to go ahead and add an engagement split and say, okay, if the email bounced, now I want to send a postcard. So I drag my Lob integration, my Lob message. Let's go ahead and configure this message. So the Lob message configuration has 2 steps, and they're very simple. The first step is configuring the actual message. So I can choose between letter and postcard. I'm going to choose postcard. Then I can choose the size of my postcard. And then I can choose my campaign name. My campaign name, every contact that goes through my through this integration is going to be logged in Marketing Cloud. So we can use this campaign name for reporting to pull that data on reporting. This campaign name also gets sent to the Lob platform. So we can actually pull reporting about my more detailed mail analytics with this campaign name as well. So let's say 20% off. Lob, the way that Lob works is it allows you to have 2 different environments in one account. So let me jump in quickly into Lob. This is a Lob platform. And as you can see, we have a test environment and a live environment. The main difference is that the test environment is going to not send any real letters or mail pieces to a customer, while the live environment is going to actually go to a print network and deliver that mail piece to the customer, to the user. So our integration allows you to choose if you want to run this in test mode or not. The beauty of this is that you can actually run your whole journey with live data and not worry about actually sending. If your journey is mostly, is Signal driven, you don't need to worry about, these letters are going to go to this. So you can test with real data without worrying about actually generating those mail pieces and sending them. So we're going to choose the templates. The templates are configured in the Lob platform, and they're very easy to configure. So we have here an HTML template section. And they're very easy to configure. They are based on HTML. And you can add your own personalization, and I'll show you here in a minute. Lob has really great documentation of guidelines on how to build templates in HTML for postcards and letters so they print correctly. So I'm going to choose my template. I'm going to choose my front of a postcard, and I'm going to choose my back of a postcard. So our e-commerce sells accessories and food for birds. And an HTML template has personalization, right? So we print the name of a person, we print the product name, and we tell them, okay, next time you buy this product, you're gonna save 20% off. We want to show a picture of the product that they bought, so it's personalized. And then in the back, we just have a static content. Okay, so we can switch and preview the postcard. The next step is very easy. It's configuring the data. So in Marketing Cloud, for those who use Marketing Cloud, I can have data in different places, in different tables. The platform is very powerful and very flexible. So if you have data, those data relationships in Contact Builder, as I was explaining, all you have to do is you're going to go into the required attributes. So what is the data that Lob needs to send a mail, which is physical address, right? So I'm going to click here, and all this list of attributes that show up here are all the attributes that I have in my Marketing Cloud account. So I'm going to go ahead and type first name, and I'm going to choose to pull the value of that first name column from my e-commerce orders table that I was showing you before. I'm going to choose address 1, and I'm completing all the information that is available in that table, right? Pretty straightforward. I'm just mapping, creating a mapping exercise and zip code. On the right-hand side, as you know, I have personalization attributes. So I need to be able to tell Lob, hey, pull this attribute from this value in Marketing Cloud. So that's very easy. All I do is I click an attribute, and I look for it. So now my name attribute in my template is going to be mapped to my first name attribute in Marketing Cloud. And let's say that attribute may come empty. I can go ahead and choose a default name, a default value for that. So let's say, for example, we want to say friend, or friend if my first name is not available. So then we can finish just mapping my postcard here real quick. with my expiration date. Let's say I want to put an expiration date and my product image URL. Okay. Once we're done, we click on done, and that's it. Now, what's going to happen when the contact goes through a journey is going to trigger that API call to Lob, and it's going to send all those values to the platform. Now, it can happen, our integration allows you to configure if you want to use address verification or not. So if you want to verify an address before it's sent, we can do that with the integration. So if a contact goes through and say that the address, because of the data we have, the address is incorrect or it can be valid, it will send you to a not sent branch. So this allows you to very easily switch your strategy and switch gears and switch your channel. So I can go ahead and say, okay, if I couldn't send a message, now send them an SMS, for example, or try to send them another email. So very easy to create a multi-channel relation. The other thing to know is that we're adding more things into integration, and one of the features is webhooks. So Lob allows you to get a status of a mail piece. So if you're sending, for example, a letter to a customer, and you want to wait, let's say you want to wait 5 days here, one of the things you can do with our integration is you can add a decision split, and you can check if that postcard or if that letter is in transit. So if it's in transit, it's usually in a few hours that it's going to get to the house. So you can send that person an email saying, hey, your promotion is coming, or a letter is coming into the mail soon, important notice for you, right? So we're actually incorporating that webhook functionality into our integration, so you can actually make those decisions even more powerful in Marketing Cloud. And lastly, what I'm going to show you is how a postcard looks when you're running in test mode. So when I run a filter here, I'm going to filter by one of the campaigns that we did as a test. Okay. And then we're going to choose one of the postcards. So if the campaign is running in test mode, you can see the preview of the postcard. And you can see how the postcard is actually populating with the real value, the product, image, the name of the product, and the personalization attribute. So with that said, back to you, Aya.
Thanks, Pato. So now that you see how Salesforce paired with Lob works, you can see how a campaign easily influence direct mail. And technology like this is constantly making direct mail a much more valuable channel in engagement campaigns. So next, let's take a look at some real innovative examples. In this section, I'm going to highlight 2 effective retention campaigns that incorporate direct mail and using Salesforce. So hopefully these examples will resonate with you and give you some ideas on how you can use them in your own marketing programs. So first, our customer example here for a retention campaign using direct mail is Smile Direct Club, who is using direct mail to improve their customer conversion rates. So for those of you who may not have heard of them, Smile Direct Club is a direct-to-consumer orthodontic service that allows customers to improve their smiles without having to see a dentist and walk into a dentist's office. And as with a lot of expensive considered purchases, Smile Direct Club has a pretty lengthy sales cycle. To help boost conversions, they wanted to identify key points of friction in the customer journey and use targeted campaigns to help customers get past those blockers. And they were already heavy users of Salesforce Marketing Cloud for different types of communications, which include email and SMS. So they wanted to test the power of direct mail by using Lob. To integrate Lob Journey Builder, which allow them to incorporate Lob into their customer journeys. It also passes customer data directly from their CRM onto Lob, so that made it easy to set up and execute all their campaigns as well. And because their test was a resounding success, since then they've expanded their use of direct mail in 13 different campaigns. So what they did here was they identified certain points of friction in the customer's journey and targeted direct mail pieces to drive optimal customer behavior and increase retention. So other campaigns are reactivation. So question kit online, but they didn't return it. A postcard was then generated to remind them to do so with a 20% off promo code. Or retargeting. So if impressions couldn't be processed and needed to be retaken, the customers would get a postcard inviting them into a physical store. Another is reminders. So once done, they were notified with a postcard. And cross-sells and upsells. So each treatment plan would have a limited window of time before they expired. So when it was nearing the expiration date, customers would get a reminder. And then when they were at the end of their treatment, Smile Direct Club would send a postcard to cross-sell nighttime retainers to help them maintain their new smile. So each direct mail piece would be customized with the customer's names, the appointment times, details corresponding to their physical journey, so to speak. And in addition, information that a customer entered during the initial sign-up flow would be used to personalize the messaging or imagery. So, for example, if they indicated that they wanted to improve their smile for an upcoming wedding, that kind of imagery would be incorporated into the postcard to increase conversion. So, since the launch, direct mail had allowed Smile Direct Club to expand their brand presence into their customers' homes and helping them build trust and credibility for a new D2C service. And this also led to really great success for them, so including a successful IPO. So adding direct mail to their campaigns had really driven a 30% lift in conversion. And even now, they see a significant amount of sales that are attributed to their direct mail pieces. So we're going to talk next about Ohio Lottery case, and I'm going to pass it to Paso for that.
Okay, thank you, Aya. So I want to talk, the second example is about the Ohio Lottery and the My Lotto Rewards program. The My Lotto Rewards programs allows members to earn points on non-winning Ohio Lottery tickets. So you can go, you play a lottery ticket, you didn't win, you can go into the app or to the mobile website if you are part of the My Lotto Rewards membership program. You can put in the code for the ticket and you can get points. And with those points, you can redeem different prizes on the site as you are collecting them. The My Lotto Reward program was launched several years ago, and the marketing campaign efforts have usually been concentrated in traditional media like TV and radio, as well as social media. The site gets about 1 million visitors per month, and the app has about 650,000 active mobile app users. So it's a fairly successful program. While we were collecting a lot of very useful information about the customer journey, we realized that there weren't a lot of activations outside of the, traditional media and social media channels. This year, the Ohio Lottery Commission wanted to increase the amount of scratch-off ticket sales during the month of February. So when we started looking at the data that we were collecting, we realized that we had a lot of lapsed members, right, that could potentially re-engage and buy lottery tickets if we created some sort of incentive for them to redeem those non-winning tickets, right? So our strategy was, how do we increase sales? We get people to, to buy more lottery tickets, right? How do we get them to buy no lottery tickets? We incentivize them to use the My Lotto Rewards program so they can enter the non-winning tickets. So the solution is, it was a combination of cross-channel customer journey using Marketing Cloud. So we with this journey where the contact, we have about an audience of 80,000 users who haven't placed scratch-off tickets of a particular value, $10 less value, in about 6 months. So with that 80,000, the first thing we do is that we wanted to test something different, right? We wanted to test how effective a direct mail piece could be. So we decided to do an 80-20 split. 80% get an email with the promotion, and 20% get a postcard. In the message, there was a promo code that the user had to activate, and then they have a month after they activated the promotion to win double points. So as they redeem non-winning tickets, they win double points, and that was the incentive, right? Then the journey walked the person through. Once they activated the promotion, we will actually send them, based on their location, we will send them retailer locations where they could actually purchase tickets. And if at any point the email bounced, for example, we retarget them to a Facebook advertising ad. At the end of a journey, we're also collecting information about how they felt about the program, to try to get an idea of what we want to improve for the future. Then we use Tableau to get the insights on the performance and build dashboards for the lottery team. And the results were very great. We had 45% direct email promo redemptions. From that sampling group that we had, 45% redeemed the promo code from direct mail, so proving that direct mail was very, very effective. And 30% redeemed the code coming from the email. And the campaign really influenced one of the best periods of $10 scratch-off sales in the history of the Ohio Lottery. So obviously, by combining direct mail, which worked really well, and all these other channels, and making, that true connection with the customer, making very personalized, we were able to get great results. And now we're moving towards creating other different journeys where we're bringing data from different data sources and continue to utilize the direct mail channel even more because of the success it had. So with that said, I think before we go into some questions, I think, Aya, you're going to tell us a little more about some events and how to learn more about this.
Correct. Thanks so much, Pato. Okay, so finally, so any of you interested in learning more about Lob's direct mail automation integrations into Salesforce? Well, we have a few places to do so. So first, Lob will be hosting 2 online events to highlight more industry-focused best practices for direct mail. So May 21st, we're going to be hosting a customer roundtable with some of the leading insurance companies like Oxford Health, Village Care, and CPH and Associates to discuss how insurers are reimagining customer engagement by using omnichannel touchpoints that are more fitting for more modern times. And I can speak for everyone here, I think, that we've all experienced the importance of at-home engagement while we're sheltering in place, and how exciting a trip to the mailbox can really be when we stay at home here. So on June 9th, Lob is going to be holding our annual direct mail symposium, but virtually. So we'll highlight how technology is transforming the direct mail and how to be more responsive and reduce the cost. And we're going to have a lot of great sessions with speakers, and hopefully you can join us here. And for either of these events, you can visit Lob's library at library. And finally, if you like a custom demo, much like what Pato had showed you today, to see what a Lob integration for journey build, you can head over to Devs United's demo page here at devsutd.com/Lob. So, some questions. I see you here. I think I see a few for Pavo first, so how do we go with this one? Marketing Cloud, we currently have Marketing Cloud and have multiple instances needed. So the same information for multiple units as well.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so our integration is installed in the, for those familiar with Marketing Cloud, it's installed in the parent account of a Marketing Cloud structure, and then it can be shared with child business units. So, the way integration works, we usually install it in the parent, and then we share it with the business units that need to be shared, so it does support multiple business units. That's a good question.
Great, thanks so much. Let's see. Here's another one. I don't have current expertise in Salesforce and A/B testing with my team. So what resources do I need to make sure that I can effectively use this set of integrations? I think that's you.
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, I mean, you don't for this integration, you don't really need expertise in using the Salesforce platform. I mean, certainly it helps working with a partner that can help you set up, the integration. But other than that, really just the integration itself is pretty turnkey after a small implementation phase. All you really need to know is to have that strategic mindset, and try to come up with a journey that you want to build for your customers, with the goals that you want to come out. And there's a handful of, a lot of partners that can help you set you up with the technology side of things.
Great. Okay, let's see. I think I see one for me. What's the best way to track campaign performance for direct mail? So there's two ways to do that. One that we see more frequently is at the individual mail piece level. A lot of our clients would create promo codes using unique URLs or QR codes, or they would also set up a specific landing page for the particular promotion that they're running. So you can measure conversion as people log in and enter whatever code. The other thing is also our platform has really robust tracking and analytics. So some of our larger customers like Verizon, for example, they would take the USPS mail scan events that we have as webhooks in our dashboard, and then they would monitor in-home mail delivery dates and attribute geolocational sales down to the zip code level, so they know when a mail piece arrived, and then attributed sales in some of their stores nearby would go up, that kind of stuff. But it's pretty creative. You can do whatever you want with it. So, let's see. I have one here. It says, everything you've shown here are postcards. Does Lob let you send any other types of mail as well? Yes. We have a few form factors. We offer letters, postcards, checks, and custom envelopes. And, our clients really print everything that they can and want. So aside from marketing campaigns or postcards, rather, we also print stuff like bills and statements, tax forms, insurance policy notices. So it's just however you want to integrate into whatever database you have and produce whatever external communication you'd like. Let's see. Also, I'm getting some questions regarding just, how do you decrease the costs overall, given that direct mail is typically considered high cost. So if you check your resources widget, we do have a ebook that we've attached called the Modernizing the Direct Mail Process. And it just really goes, what we did is we took some of our client examples and just really dug in every single part of the process on how we can help optimize or cut out some of the things that took a lot of time or labor, and really make it easy by doing a one-touch process through our platform. So take a look at that, and also we'll follow up with that as well. Let's see. We have another one. It says, what other Salesforce integrations can Devs United offer? So I think that's you, Pato.
Yeah, I mean, we provide services really in the entire Salesforce ecosystem. We can do the typical Marketing Cloud implementation, but we also do a lot of integrations. We have integrations with other SMS channels. We have integrations with WhatsApp, for example. And then we focus on other clouds as well. So we'll do Sales Cloud, consulting and implementation, as well as Service Cloud. That's our question.
Yep. Great. And just one more question. Do you do identity resolution if all I have is customer emails? And I'll take that. It is a yes. Typically what we do is we work with a variety of third-party partners, for example, Tower Data, and they can help do the identity resolutions with decent levels of success. So yeah, definitely can refer partners there. Great. Okay, well, why don't we wrap it up? And thank you again for everybody for joining us today, and I really hope that this broadcast was helpful for you. And if you have any questions about anything that you learned today, feel free to reach out to us. We'll also do follow-up after this webinar, so we'll send you with additional information that we've referenced, and we hope you find it useful. So I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your week, and be well, stay healthy, and safe. Thanks so much.
Thank you.